As the worldwide communist tyranny continues to strip us of freedoms and rights, anyone still longing for even a slight degree of freedom and independence will be labeled as counter-revolutionaries, subversives, domestic terrorists, racists, haters, and fascists. Look around you. This labeling and dehumanizing program, the classic lead-in to genocide, is already well underway. Typically what happens after a communist takeover is that government will hunt down these enemies of the state and terminate them. Time to face the ugly reality, folks. Those of us that still adhere to critical thinking, honor, and freedom will soon become the hunted. As any strategist can tell you, when faced with overwhelming odds, the best strategy is guerrilla warfare. That is why I've been working on this series of urban guerrilla tactics. The predation of communist tyrannies drives people to create underground resistance communities. An integral component to any underground community is the establishment of code words. Code words constitute a secret way of communicating with members of your community without arousing the suspicions of security forces listening in or revealing your intentions. Organized crime, street gangs, spy and security forces all use their own code words that outsiders would not understand the meaning of. Likewise, the last remaining freedom lovers should also devise codes to communicate without revealing your position. There are two types of codes we must implement: the micro and the macro. The micro codes are ones you exclusively use within your family or community. Living under the unrelenting surveillance of a communist government, the need for secret code language is even more crucial, since even family and friends are potential informers. You need to be able to communicate important warnings and instructions to your team that even the secret police or your next-door neighbor sitting in the same room with you would not be able to spot. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say the communist secret police has arrived at your home because you liked a Facebook post criticizing President Kamala, and they want to round up your entire family for transport to a freedom camp in Alaska. But your husband is not home. Pointing a pistol to the back of your daughter's head, the police demand you call your husband and tell him he needs to come home right away. So the wife calls her husband and says the following: "Hi, honey, where are you now?" "Well, you need to get home right away. I'll tell you when you get here. Bye." So, did you spot the code word? Probably not, and neither will the government thugs. The code word is now. If it was an innocent call, you could ask, "Where are you?" But by adding the word now, it becomes a code, and the code is a warning. Don't come home. There are police here waiting for you. Now, in addition to codes, you also need to have a plan of what to do. Do you immediately call the other team members of your community and the human rights lawyer you have on retainer to intervene? The sooner you can intervene during an arrest and detention, the better chance you have of freeing your team members. However, if the level of tyranny reaches such a degree that the law and even bribes won't help, then your plan might involve setting up a sniper position outside your home. And if you're a good shot, you can take out the first 3 thugs and keep the last 3 pinned down, giving your family a chance to run to safety. Now, you may think I'm being paranoid, but I came up with these tactics while reading accounts of Stalin's purges and thinking, Good God, what could those poor people have done to save themselves? Understand that 26 million people that went to the camps were subject to inhumane treatment consisting of backbreaking labor, beatings, gang rapes, and torture. Being shot to death while fighting is preferable than being captured alive. I've read the accounts, and they haunt me every day. Here are 5 types of messages you should create code words for. Number 1, everything is okay, situation normal, safe to come in. Number 2, there is a threat, danger, do not come in. Number 3, the person with me can be trusted and you can speak openly. Number 4, the person with me is not to be trusted. Guard what you say and stick to the cover story. Number 5, grave danger. Everyone evacuate to the rendezvous location as soon as possible. There are, of course, other messages unique to your situation and circumstance for which you might want to create special code words. Macro code words. These are codes to be used out in the open on social media and internet sites that will not arouse the interest of censors or algorithms. There are currently dozens of words and phrases that will get you immediately suspended and banned from social media and inevitably the entire internet. These words and phrases refer to subjects the communist overlords have deemed forbidden to discuss. And for that very reason, it is vital that we discuss and share information on these subjects. In some of my recent interviews, I explained that I will be using code words for certain subjects so as to avoid being censored. For example, I used the code word cooties to describe an alleged illness said to cause a medical crisis. I use another word, candy, to describe a medical procedure involving a syringe that allegedly treats the aforementioned medical crisis. In addition to subjects you are forbidden to speak of, there are also ethnic groups that cannot be spoken of. One such group is designated by their mountain range of origin, or their Proto-Indo-European name, and more recently by their color designation. Should you say anything positive about this group, or point out the huge efforts being made to genocide them, and you will be censored, suspended, banned, called a word that ends in an ist or a z, get fired from your job, and even arrested for allegedly feeling a certain emotion. Conversely, there is another ethnic group, whom I call the usual suspects, because of their millennial-long reputation for villainy. Should you say anything negative about this group, or point out that they are the prime instigators in the efforts to genocide the aforementioned people, and you will be censored, suspended, banned, called a word that ends in an ite or a z, get fired from your job, and even arrested for allegedly feeling a certain emotion. That such lunacy even exists in our society should be of grave concern, and that such draconian efforts are being made to silence all discussion is all the proof you need that these topics should be foremost in our conversations. As the communist decay continues to rot out the core of our society, more and more words and topics will become forbidden. You will live in a world where you must guard and self-censor every word you speak for fear of being called subversive and hustled off to a freedom camp. The only way to protect yourself and to be able to work with other like-minded people is to develop your own language of code words.